Good morning and welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living here at 4 Points at Sheraton on Airport Boulevard. So glad you've joined us today, whether you're in the room or you're on Zoom. Thank you. My name is Marianne Atwell Hardy, and I am a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living. On this glorious spring day, can't get any nicer, I tell you. So we're going to start the way we always do. I'm going to do meditation. I'm going to start with the reading. And then we're going to go into quiet as a way to prepare ourselves as well as prepare the space. And today I'm going to read from Kate Bowler. She's a professor of divinity at Duke. And she writes about grace. And this is the season of Lent for those who follow Jesus. And it's going to focus on the grace that we are automatically given. So from Ephesians in the New Testament, for by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing. It's the gift of God, not the result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are what he has made us, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we may walk in them. So she writes, we have often no idea how to deal with the things that we've done or the things done to us. Enter grace. But what even is grace? And more importantly, how do we get some? John Wesley, a guy who started a church tradition called Methodism, called grace free, undeserved favor. In other words, it's like getting something good you didn't earn. But hey, no one's complaining. My friend, Professor Willie Jennings, says, grace is the ability to see through God's eyes for a moment. I love that. When we give or receive grace, it's a chance for renewal. Grace is so full of love and kindness that when it touches our hearts, we can never be the same. We may not deserve it, but we get it anyway. Are you really good at beating yourself up? Well, congrats. But maybe today we could try something else. Mistakes happen. They're just part of being human. Maybe learn what you can, and then, here's the hard part, let the rest go. You deserve a little grace. Love is ready to fill the cracks, even the ones you made. Let it. And then she offers a prayer, a blessing. Blessed are we, the graced, we who don't deserve it, whose failures haunt us, the things we said, the things we left unsaid, the decisions, addictions, and broken relationships that have ripple effects. Somehow we receive this mysterious gift. Grace doesn't erase pain that we've caused, but grace still, for us, the redeemable. And if we are, that means they are too. Yes, even them, the rude neighbor, the estranged father, the unforgiving ex, the boss who screwed you over, the doctor who messed up, the selfish pastor, the family member who did the unthinkable. Despite our mistakes, we are graced. Blessed are we who wrestle with unforgiveness, who make amends. You who reach for forgiveness. You who say you're sorry even if it's not enough. You who find the bridge to forgive even when you cannot forget or can't go back. Or they aren't nearly sorry enough. Blessed are we who live here in this mystery, this scandal of grace. So knowing that grace is our birthright, that gift of God that just keeps on giving regardless of what we think about ourselves, what we've done, what we've said. Let it go. Let it go. And in the quiet, just let God's grace wash over you. and enjoy that feeling of being surrounded by love. So now just get quiet and we'll listen to some music. So take a deep, deep breath in. Slowly come back to awareness. And just know that this pain that sometimes comes with being human also comes with God's grace, with God's love. There are no mistakes in God's eyes. So resting in that peace, knowing that that is the truth, we can let the rest go. And just wrap yourself in that love that is always and ever available. So I thank you for joining this meditation, for being part of the service this morning. The actual service starts at 10:15, so we will see you soon. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Things with a choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams, you will do amazing things. Places you will go, and the people you will know. Don't worry when, or where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out, just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say.
So let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you are here at 4 Points by Sheridan in our sanctuary, or you have invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming, we are very glad that we are here together on this absolutely beautiful day that God has made. Reverend Denise Schubert is in the house today, so we're all excited about that. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Ripplemeyer. My pronouns are she and her, and I have the honor and the privilege of being this community's spiritual director. This Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that really honors all paths and promotes global transformation through personal transformation. We're a spiritual community that can support you as you strive to create and experience a personal relationship with the divine, a spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just for being who you are. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, and Centers for Spiritual Living is about 450 spiritual centers, teaching chapters, and special focus ministries in 30 countries worldwide. Centers for Spiritual Living is a positive and practical philosophy, faith, and way of life whose global vision is a world that works for all. And so we are here today in alignment with all of these other centers and with the teaching itself to really co-create a world that really actually does work for everyone. One quick announcement from me before we have our announcer extraordinaire join us is that on Sunday, April 13th, we will be having a Zoom meeting following the service. So if you are in the sanctuary, you are invited to just stay in the sanctuary. And if you're not in the room, you're invited to move from StreamYard over to Zoom. And then we will all be able to be together and to have conversations together. And the conversations will be around the health, our financial health. So really, it's an opportunity to come together to speak about where we are. We said that we would be doing this quarterly, and so this will be our quarterly conversation. It'll last maybe about 30 minutes, and we'll be facilitating an update on the finances and allow for questions or concerns or ideas that you might have regarding that. So it's really, 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 did I say really? Important for everyone in the community to participate. And you can do it whether you're here in the room or at home to just join us on Zoom for that quick little half an hour. But the link will be the same link that we use for Wednesday evenings, which get sent out every Wednesday in the newsletter. And if you don't receive the newsletter, please ask to be signed up for it. And if you do, that's where you'll find it. You could also find the link on our website. And if you're having trouble doing any of that, please reach out to Heather. She would be more than happy to give you the link for that Zoom meeting. It'll happen probably right around 11:40-ish or so, something like that, right after the completion of our service on Sunday, the 13th of April. So mark your calendars for that. I would like to thank Marianne Atwell-Hardy for her beautiful meditation that expanded the container that our service will unfold within. So thank you very much, Marianne. And now I would love to welcome up our announcer extraordinaire, Mr. Sean Shockey.
We just have a few announcements today on this exciting day. So glad to have Reverend Denise with us. Okay. Our Wednesday evening services for 2025 are called The Wednesday Experience, a look at life through meditation, musings, metaphysics, and magic. Each week, the evening will be facilitated by a host of ministers, practitioners, and others who will share an insightful, revealing, and perhaps provocative reading or story, and then facilitate a meditation. Okay, following the meditation, we will all have an opportunity to share. The service will once again be held on Zoom, 7 p.m. until 8:15 p.m. Okay. It is not too late to join us following the service for Reverend Denise's workshop. The title for the workshop is Staying Spiritually Grounded Through Change. Reverend Denise says, as human beings, we exist in a field of endless changes in our lives, personally and collectively. Some of those changes we want, and some of them we don't. Her illuminating workshop will explore the difference between navigating those changes as only a human being or navigating those changes as a birthless, deathless spiritual being. Life can be viewed through a purely human perspective or through a spiritual perspective. It all depends on where and how we identify ourselves. One will leave you in worry and doubt, and doubt, and fear. The other will with positive expectations and faith in a greater good. The bottom line is that life doesn't have to be so hard. Okay. Join us for the brief 2-hour journey into unfettered peace of mind, happiness, and calm in all situations. The workshop will be here at 4 Points by Sheraton from 12 until 2. The suggested cost is $25 in advance and $35 at the door. It will be an in-person workshop only. Okay. This is a save the date announcement for an upcoming prosperity class to be taught of Edwin Gaines. I am not sure how many of you have ever heard of Edwin Gaines. However, she is one of the foremost prosperity teachers, past, present, and future. Okay. She is going to be facilitating a 4-lesson prosperity class free to anyone who would like to participate. We can all join in some prosperity, right? we ain't complaining, okay? Because she is not on the East Coast, the time frame of her sessions was going to be hard for our community. The date of her sessions were also challenging because of Mother's Day and Father's Day. Reverend Dusty actually wrote to her about our idea to gather the community together to participate in the sessions and to see if the sessions were going to be recorded. She thought it was a great idea and said that yes, the sessions would be recorded. So because we received the green light from her, we will be hosting the classes here at 4 Points by Sheraton. That way, those who wish to do so could watch the classes together, which will make them even more powerful. I'm looking forward to it. Because we will be together, we will also be able to spend a few moments after the class to answer questions, talk about practical ideas, and create collective mental equivalents for our community Everyone is welcome. They will all be on Zoom, hosted by Reverend Dusty. They will start following the completion of our service. They will all be held on the fourth Sunday of April, May, June, and July. The invitation is to bring something to eat as we are watching the class, and buckle up as we receive some great insight from amazing prosperity teacher. If you are interested, please RSVP to Heather at info@trianglecsl.com. Please welcome. Okay, I thought it was org, but okay. I'm getting into the habit of throwing you under the info@trianglecsl.org. Okay, please welcome Marianne Hardy to the podium.
Good morning. The theme for the year 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Our theme for the month of March is the flow of coming and going. Rev Denise's message today is blossoming through change. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement, which is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through service, celebration, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we're here for God. So now I invite you to just get quiet, turn within, take a deep, audible breath out. This is our transition that helps us get quiet. So I invite you to just listen to the sound of the crystal bowls and just let it wash over you all the way to the end.
Okay, time to come back to Earth. Hello, everyone. Happy spring. My name is Carol Cross. My pronouns are she and her, and I am another practitioner here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. So now is the time for our ritual of the blessings of all people. And I'd like to ask Diane Carnes to come up and assist me with this. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors whether your politics tend towards the red side or towards the blue side or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you were born and raised in this country or you came here from a different land or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you are married or single or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you're in the first third of your life, the third third of your life, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you feel your connection with God is the driving force in your life, or you aren't sure that you even believe in God, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Each and every color is beautiful, unique, and significant. They all combine together into an amazing whole. Thank you all for contributing your special vibration to today's service and to life itself. And so it is. Thank you so much, Diane. So now I'm going to do a blessing on our service. So I invite you to close your outer eyes, turn within, and I am seeing that rainbow manifested within myself because I know that I am all things divine. I am beauty. I am love. I am abundance. I am joy. I am wisdom. I am peace. When I take time to turn within and remember that. And I know that this is true of each and every one of us, not just each and every one of us in the room or on the recording or on the whenever you watch it by technology, not just because you're a member of our TCSL community. It's true of every person, everywhere. It's true of every creature, every bug, every bird, every cat and dog, every lion and elephant and hippopotamus, every tree, every butterfly, everything is this divine rainbow. And that is why this is such a glorious experience to be alive. So, knowing that we all are standing in our magnificence, I know that today will unfold in divine perfection, and that each thing that needs to be said will be said, each thing that needs to be heard will be heard, and we shall all be transformed. So I say a word of blessing and gratitude on all of our volunteers, a word of blessing on Heather, as she does the fantastic job she always does on AV, a word of blessing on Sean, who has brought our announcements to a whole new level, a word of blessing on Marianne, as I call her, the Queen of Serene. Best way to start the day is through a meditation. I say a word of blessing on Cindy, as she brings that rainbow energy to us through music. A word of blessing on our beloved Reverend Dusty, who leads us each day with so much heart, so much giving, and so much beauty. And I say a word of blessing on our really beloved Reverend Denise. Thank you for coming home again with us, Denise. I know you will be the perfect conduit for divine wisdom for us all today. And I say a word of blessing on each and every person who is part of this service, because each individual emanation adds to the whole, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So knowing that this is going to be a glorious event, I say let's just turn it over to the law that always says yes with our words, and so it is. Okay, so the reading for today is from an unknown source, but it's still very wise. It says, "You cannot be your authentic self without becoming intimate with your true nature, without going beyond personality, cherished beliefs, likes and dislikes to discover your core self. You must be willing to break the agreement you have with mediocrity. The moment you stop running the racket of staying small to please society, family, friends, bosses, your original face will start to come into focus. And you in the silence. I can't take the noise and I turn inside to you. Who'd have thought that in the silence I would hear the truth? In the silence of your love, your voice speaks loud and clear. The constant chatter ceases. It's only you I hear. I find comfort in your presence and strength in what you say. 'Cause whatever path I choose to take, it's you who leads the way. In the silence, in the silence, in the silence.
Thank you very much, Cindy. That was beautiful. Guess that's where it's going to be. Oh, that was beautiful, Cindy. Thank you so very much. As I look out in the room, I see many faces that I know are here because they came here to celebrate Reverend Denise and their relationships with them, with her over the years. And I know that's probably also true for people that are joining us through live streaming today. I also know that there are some people that don't know her. So for those of you that don't know her, Reverend Denise Schubert is an ordained minister of science of mind, having received her master's degree and license from the Holmes Institute in 2003. During her 22 years in ministry, Denise has served many spiritual communities, including the Agape International Spiritual Center, Center for Conscious Living in Northwest Arkansas, the Bodhi Center for Spiritual Living in Chicago, and also our center, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, which she served up until the time she retired in December of 2015. Reverend Denise has spent 2 decades synthesizing the spiritual principles and practices of New Thought, ancient wisdom, faith traditions, strategies for success that she gleaned from her 30 years as a technology executive, and the principles of transformation derived from a 50-year relationship with the principles of the Landmark Forum. Her purpose in ministry is the awakening of individuals to a more powerfully and authentic life grounded in the awareness of our inherent divinity and our deep and abiding connection to God. Reverend Denise calls herself a purveyor of possibility. I love that. A purveyor of possibility and a difference maker in the activation of human potential towards the goal of guiding our world into one that actually does work for each and every single person, each and every single sentient being on the planet. I simply call her my friend. Please welcome Reverend Denise.
I always feel like that's so hard to live up to. I'm truly a person who loves you and who loves elephants. That's who I am. So it's so great to see you. So look at, it's been 10 years since I left the center, but it's as if I never left the center. So thank you for coming out today. Thank you. Hello, everyone at home. I'm currently ministering to a CSL in Florida, I just started March, so I've been doing this theme as well for the whole month. So I'm right there with you, having been talking about what it means to move through the world with all of the changes going on. How do we stay happy? How do we stay peace-filled? How do we stay grounded? It's not easy for people right now. It's not easy for even us. It's just not simple because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes going on that we do like, but I would say there are far more changes going on that most of us don't like. And as spiritual as we are, I think it's a really, really good time to revisit what it means to walk this particular philosophy, faith, and way of life. And how to, where the rubber meets the road is, can you walk it when the world isn't doing what you want the world to do? Now, I love the word unconditional here. Unconditional means you blossom regardless of what's going on. Unconditional. I first fell in love with that word reading chapter 15 of The Untethered Soul, which is the chapter on unconditional happiness, where Michael Singer talks about unconditional happiness means you're happy even if you lose your job, even if your wife leaves you, even if you get a diagnosis, even if you can't have your coffee in the morning, whatever it is, what are you willing to give up your happiness for? Like, which problem are you willing to give up happiness for? Well, in what problem in the world are we willing to give up our peace? Now, one of the sobering things I think is that Earth, the planet Earth, is like 1 billion years old. Humans are about 300,000 years old. Modern humans are 10,000 years. Only 10,000 years of all that time has there been a human anatomically like us walking around. But what I really find amazing is it's only been the everything we know is about less than 200 years old. That the evolution of human consciousness has magnified and multiplied in an amazing way in less than 200 years. Telephones, internet, planes, television. So we relate to each other and we hang out together planetarily in a way that never happened 200 years ago. There was just us on our farms, right? With our lives and our children, our grandchildren, our community. And now it's not really like that. We are privy to every piece of useless information that any human being has ever thought, and how hard it is to discern what's real and what's not real, what's true and what's not true. So to blossom through change, or to blossom through all this information, we have to come into some different understanding. We have to really, one of the things I love about this philosophy is it teaches us not so much what to think, but it teaches us how to think, or even to think, to bring a kind of discernment. Now, I love this quote. I don't do Bible quotes very often, but I have 2 or 3 of them here because the teachings offered to us by our master big brother teacher, Jesus, there were many from the Buddha, from many spiritual teachers, are so on point. And one of them is this one. He says, in the world, you will have tribulation and troubles, but take courage, fear not, for I have overcome the world. And the I he's speaking about is not I, Jesus. The I he's speaking about is the I am presence in each and every one of us, what we would call the Christ presence, or the divine presence, the holy presence, the infinite presence. And that presence in us has the capacity to overcome whatever's going on in the world, whatever it is. So we can't get trapped by it. We can't get caught by it. Well, we do get caught by it. We are caught by it. The world is caught by the people of the world, certainly the people of our country, are caught by what's going on in the world right now. Some to some degree or another degree, but it's, I do a lot of talking to people, and most of the talking these days is a lot of prayer, right? When you read, when you turn on the news, when you open the newspaper, when you click on Yahoo, that is a request for prayer. It's a call for prayer, not something to use to not be happy yourself. Now, the other quote I loved this week was, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." So there is a very clear distinction we must make in order to live a life that is worthy of our divine genesis, our divine birthright. You can't have both. So they can't abide in the same place. So this quote is saying you can't have love, you can't have the world and have the infinite presence of God in your life. You can't have them both. You have to choose. There's another part in the Bible that says you cannot serve two masters, love and hate. You have to pick one. Fear or faith. You can't have both. You have to pick one. And the science of mind teaches us that it's not blind faith. It's not stupidity to have faith in that which is unseen. In fact, the unseen is way more real than the seen. Now, it's very confusing though, because as human beings, we are endowed with ways of experiencing the planet we live on. So you are a spiritual being. There was a time when you had no face, right? You were a spirit, you were an energy, you're a part of a sea of soul. And through some amazing process, we decide to incarnate. We want to come to earth and play. We want to come to earth and grow. We want to come to earth and participate. But in order to do that, you have to have a way to experience, hence the body. So we smell, we taste, we touch, we feel. And the bad part about that, if there is one, is that then we think that what we're touching and tasting and feeling is real. We think that's what life is the experience that we're having tactily. Now, that's of the human, right? So as humans, that's what we have and how we ultimately bask in the beauty and the magnificence that is the world. So if you take, I always used to feel this way, that if you took all the people off the planet, that then you would see God's world. You would see the world that God made. You would see it. There would be no doubt in anybody's mind, because it's amazing and magnificent and orderly and harmonious and magical. And, I have spent so much time this past decade in nature that if you sit where animals are living and you watch them live, you really get what the divine intention was. But we as a species have forgotten that we actually take ourselves so seriously, right? And we formed all these, I'm right, you're wrong. We're the chosen people. God doesn't really like you, And we pray that way. We pray, I'm going to pray for my enemies to be smited. Well, there's no God that can smite your enemies and not smite you, because you're somebody's enemy, right? So the whole thing is we're so off base a little bit, at least here. There are Eastern religions, there are other religions who are way more connected to what I'm talking about than we are here in this country. Martin Luther said that he said, we need to live from the perspective of eternity. We need to live today in light of what we will experience 10 billion years from now. It says in 10 billion years from now, you won't care one iota about what you looked like on Sunday, March 30th, 2025. You won't. He didn't say that. I'm adding. Martin Luther didn't say that. So I'm exercising my right, my degree, which is in making stuff up. I have a degree in making stuff up, so I can say whatever I can make whatever up I want. So, but he said you won't care that your house needed a coat of paint, or that your car is run down, your bank account is empty, or that you couldn't take a vacation to Hawaii, or that you're unknown to most of the world. Like nobody really knows who you are, right? You just won't. You won't care. When you are on your deathbed, you're not going to care about these things either. You will only care about how you lived and how you loved. That's the only thing, I promise you, it's the only thing you care about. You're not going to be laying there on your deathbed going, oh, darn, I didn't go to Hawaii in 1986. Yeah. Psht, psht. Gone. So at some moment, and the moment could be today, and some of you, I mean, I don't know how many people are here in the room, 25 maybe, and there are all different levels of consciousness here. Some of you have been in this philosophy or some other theology for years and years, and you have a deep connection and you're living from that connection. Some of you are here for the first time or just learning about this other kind of connection, different than the connection you were taught in catechism, or your family religion of your origin. And so we're all different levels of consciousness. But I want to say to each and every one of us, myself included, is we always have to remind ourselves, are we going to identify ourselves as only human, or are we going to identify ourselves as spiritual? And it's a choice, because if you identify yourself as spiritual, you then make yourself available to the spiritual senses, which are as real as the physical senses, but we don't have as much faith in them because we're materialistic in nature, and we think that the only things that are real are the things that you can see, taste, touch, hear, missing one, and smell. And we believe that everything you read on the internet is true, and that everything out here is concrete. But in this teaching, our primary teaching is that you are creating your reality thought by thought, feeling by feeling, moment by moment, individually and collectively. So we live in a process that creates everything. Everything came from a thought. Everything got created by our God-given ability to create. And when you know that, then you can go about creating what you want and not what you don't want. And even though it feels like the world's it's all too crazy, and what difference can you make? You're just one puny person, and it doesn't really matter how happy you are or how much you want something different than what we have. Nothing could be further from the truth, because every moment you live, you add unto the all that is. And it's like, I've said this so many times over the years of ministry, is that I think it's as simple as a scale. So if this is a scale, if hate and separation and fear and greed and all the things we don't want outweigh are thought more by the more people, it's going to dominate what we see in the world, because that's just how it works. Form follows consciousness. Conditions follow consciousness. So if the 30 of us in this room consciously practice love more than fear, pretty soon it will go like this. And what we'll see in the world is more demonstration, more manifestation of love and generosity and peace. So you do matter. Now, we can't really approach it that way because everyone's involved in their personal lives. So we come together in the awareness that if you transform your experience, if you can walk around this earth condemning no one, judging no one, recognizing that even the people you hate are as much divine as you. They may not know they are, but they are, because they must be. It cannot, there are no chosen people, right? God does not love blue people better than purple people, or red dots more than blue dots. There's no God that can do that. God, that we are unconditionally carried, maintained, and sustained by this living presence. Now, there's also a choice. There's predictable or possible. You can live a predictable life, or you can live a possible life. Which one do you want to live? Possible, of course. So, however, the natural order of things is predictable. And why is because we are identifying as human. And when we do that, we live from this vantage point that says, based on where I've come from, based on my upbringing, based on my relationships, based on my college education, based on my health, based on my gender, based on my color, based on my sexual orientation, based on all of that, this is what I can do tomorrow. So as purely human, you will use the past, which gets projected into your future. Not on purpose, it's just what happens. So as a spiritual being, when you begin to identify as a creator, begin to identify as a unique and individualized expression of God, not a God that's out there, but a God that's in here and in there, you then can create a future out of nothing, out of no past. You can just right where you are say, next year, I want to end the year with more money than I have this year. Or you can say, next year, I'm going to be more comfortable in my own skin than I am this year. Or you can say you want a new job, or you're going to write and publish a book, or you're going to be a famous singer. You can declare anything, whether or not you think you can, and whether or not your past orients you to that truth. Why? Because we're creative. Why? Because when you do your prayer work, your affirmations, your journaling, when you begin to walk the walk and talk the talk, you will begin to move molecules around, which will then create stuff or experiences. So possibility is thinking. Possibility is a genre of the spirit. So truly, if we want our world to be different, not only your personal world, but the world we're living in, then we have to come from a place that believes in possibility. No possibility, no change. Otherwise, it's a sequential block building. Now, earlier I mentioned that the modern human is really only about 10,000 years old. When we talk about peace on earth, we're talking about something that's never happened. Humans have never allowed for peace on earth because we're all captivated and held captive by this idea that we're different, right? That the Italians are different than the Irish and the English have always been at war with each other. But this goes all the way back to when 10,000 years ago. This isn't new. It's not like, oh, this year it's particularly rough. Every year has been rough. Humans suffer so much. Wars have been the full length of our existence as modern humans. So one could say, well, it's just not possible. Peace is not possible. I don't know if that's true or not for the world. It feels probably not in my lifetime will there be world peace. But I do want to say this, which I learned from my minister hero, Edward Vilhune, who said, if you can't do it, what makes you think anyone can do it? Right? If you can't make peace in your own life with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your people, if you can't experience peace with them, what makes you think anyone, what makes you think peace is possible? Which is why this philosophy so much focuses on the individual, right? So don't worry about the world. Just get your own stuff together, right? Just just do the work, the ancient grudges, and now your work, you got work to do now. Why? Because I promise you, the majority of us are full of judgment, full of hate, spiritual hate, of course, but it doesn't matter, right? To all that's required now to find peace. It's like I have kind of a new someone I've been following for about a year and a half, and his name is Sadhguru. Do any of you know who he is? Have you seen him on the internet? You can look him up. He's this big Indian, jolly, lots of hair, beautiful clothes. You know, he's a guru. And I'm not really a guru girl, but he's so funny. But he said one day, he said, can you take responsibility for humanity? Can you be big enough? Can you take responsibility for the well-being of all beings everywhere? And not, I mean, literally, not like a to-do, but like a to-be. Like, can you just get that there is nobody outside your heart that you cannot love, that you cannot wish well to, that you cannot want the best for? And it's a wonderful question, because if you can get that you're not this little person, a little human being living in North Carolina or living in Florida, who is trying desperately to make life work for yourself through a lot of worry, doubt, fear, and lack, but rather, can you love your life right where you are and everyone in it, known or unknown to you? It's a very beautiful question. And if you can answer it truly and say, I can take responsibility for humanity, for all of humanity being at peace, being loved, being fed, if you can just own it, the universe will begin to respond. And you don't really know. My mother used to say to me about the people. She used to say, I don't know if this is relevant, but anyway, there it is. She used to say, Denise, just because you don't like someone, you don't have to marry them, or you don't have to go to bed with them. You just have to let them be, right? You just have to let them be. So I think that now one of the things we have to do in our world today is all the people you would just as soon God would just come pluck up off the earth and throw away, like a mistake, like the armadillo. Oops, mistake, gone. If you can do that, if you can just let them be, then something different can happen, which will be way more predictable, because that which you resist persists. That which you don't want continues to hang out in your experience. It's just simply the way it works. It's not an idea. It's like the law. We teach the law. Science of mind means the science of thought, the science of creation, the science of moving molecules around. And we're the ones who do it. So, and by the way, there's no mystery here. The majority of people in our country, I don't know about all other countries, but I know in our country, are anxious, depressed, addicted, obese, fearful, poor. I live in a state of Florida is a very big retirement state. the majority of our older Americans are not healthy people or happy people or contented people. They're not going to their deathbeds saying, oh, I got to live just such a great life. And it's just been a miracle. You know, that we reflect the dis-ease in our thinking shows up in our bodies and in our culture. So, universal mind contains all knowledge. It is the potential ultimate of all things to it. Of all things to it, all things are possible. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind, the author of this amazing textbook. You know, it's so interesting. Dusty and I were talking Reverend Dusty and I were talking yesterday, and I've been talking to my colleagues. And this particular way of thinking, our churches are less full than they were pre-COVID, right? That there are fewer people. I can see that here as well. I can see it. I worked at a Unity church in Naples for a while. I'm now at a CSL in Cape Coral, which, you know, I think 5 years ago, there were 100 people on a Sunday. Now there's about 40. And it's just so interesting how we need to rethink what we're doing. Like, and I think it's a church thing. I think we almost need to take ourselves out of the realm of religion and put us into the realm of philosophy and mystery teachings. Like, these are mystery teachings. Do you know? Change your thinking, change your life. How many of you have, through the science, through your participation here or in some other New Thought community, have changed your life? Yeah, I mean changed. Like, not little bits, a radical changes from a predictable path of being or doing or living into something that's unpredictable, something that's like possibility living. It's not woo-woo, you know, it's not a woo-woo thing, it's a science thing. So Ernest Holmes, now we did this month, through this topic, you've talked about listening to your intuition, you've talked about silence, you've talked about, I'm sure, turning off the news, like quieting the world's input. Now, if you cannot listen to the news without getting upset, either don't listen to the news, just don't listen, because I'm telling you, it's not real anyway. I know it feels real, I do. And we're going to take actions. I know we're going to march, and we're going to, you know, and just know, I mean, Abraham Hicks said, in your joy, you offer the world joy. In your hate, you offer the world hate. In your fear, you offer the world fear. So what are you offering the world? What do you offer the world? So the invitation is to listen to the still small voice within you, which is always listen. If it's not loving, kind, sweet, and generous, it's not the still small voice within you. It's a really big, loud voice within you called the ego. I'm right, they're wrong. There's something wrong here. God, I thought God was in charge, but now God's not in charge because I don't like what's going on. Psht, psht. Do you know where that comes from? Psht. You guys know the cat? What's a talking cat? Come on. No. On YouTube, a Penny. You guys don't know Penny the talking? Oh my God. No, it's not a Florida thing. It's a YouTube Shorts thing. Penny the talking cat. So Penny talks to her owner, and at the end of every sentence, she goes, psht. So this quote by Ellen Alda, he said, at times you must leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself. Now, some of you know, I'm going to share with you my insane 20 seconds of insane courage following my intuition, which was in 2021 after my hip replacement and my stroke. So I had my hip replaced on a Monday, and I had a stroke on a Tuesday, the next Tuesday. And it was pretty scary. It was a real challenging, challenges your faith, brings up fear. I couldn't drive for a while. And when it happened in November, my sisters were with me. So I didn't really think too much about it while they were with me, because all I wanted them to do was leave. I was just praying, dear God, please get them. Even though I was on a walker, I couldn't walk, I couldn't see. The stroke left me a little vision impaired. And so when they left in December, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, now what are you going to do? Right. And I knew from in this teaching that I had to change where I was coming from. I had to get out of the funk. I had to get out of the fear, get out of the awfulizing the future. Do any of you awfulize it? I know some of you are awfulizing the future right now, right? I had to get out of it. And so my work was, what do I do? It's like, help me here. What is it? If I'm going to die next month, what do I want to do? Like, because I just didn't want to sit in my house and feel sorry for myself and wait for the next stroke, right? So my intuition said, okay, you're going to sell everything. I think I've talked about this with you before, but it's relevant here that you're going to sell everything. And I sold everything. I sold my house, all my furniture, every towel, every dish, every gadget, everything. I had 6 suitcases I left the house with. Oh, and my car. I sold my car. And I went to South Africa for 6 months. Do you think my sisters thought this was a good idea? You're 70, you can't see, you can't walk, and you're going to do what? But I knew I was right. I knew I was right, that was the thing for me to do. Not for everyone, but for me to do. And that's what I did. And 6 months, and I didn't have a return date. I just knew I was going because I was homeless. What 70-year-old person makes themselves homeless? And it's not like I had $1,000 million. There was a limited resources there. So anyway, so I came back. I healed in Africa. My hip healed. I'm driving. I came back. And since then, in coming back, where I am today is, first of all, I bought my car back from the people who bought my car. Because when I came back, the people who bought my car lived in the community I lived in. I called them before I left Africa, and I said, and they're snowbirds from Ohio. And I said, is your house empty? They said, yes. I said, can I move into it until I figure out what I'm going to do now? And they said, sure, of course, sure. So they practically gave it to me, really. So I moved in. And the first time I went out, of course, my car's in the driveway, in the garage, because they bought it. So I get in the car, my phone rings, and it's synced with my car. So I thought, oh, I think I'm supposed to have my car back. So I called them. I said, can I buy the car back from you? And she said, sure. So I bought it back for what they paid for it. They didn't charge me more. So I had my car. And then I ended up babysitting a dog in a house across the street for 3 months. And this year, last year in January, though I wasn't living there anymore, I was in Naples at the Unity Church. I was in an apartment, but they said, do you want to buy our house? And it was like $240,000. It's like, I really can't afford your house. And they said, well, how much can you afford? I said, well, I don't know. Not that much. This is kind of what I have. And they said, their husband and wife, they went, blah, 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 blah. They said, how about we sell it to you for 110? It's like, I had to let myself receive that, right? It's like, okay. I didn't really have that money either, but I called my sister, who I wanted to kick out of my house. She doesn't know that, obviously, and said, this is how much I need to do this, and such a great deal, and I'll make it worth your while. And she goes, oh, no, I'll go half, no problem. So I'm telling you this story really to demonstrate how the universe is always conspiring for your greater good. The miracles are right around the corner, but you can't see them or find them without letting the God within you lead you, without listening to that still small voice. Because you'll be distracted by the news. You won't hear it. I listened to this wonderful talk by Steve Jobs. He was addressing a college, and it was the most beautiful talk, because he was talking about how in life you can't connect the dots until except looking back. So you can't plan. You cannot predictably plan your future from a creative space before it happens. All you can do is come up with your vision of what. Like, what do I want? What do I want? How do I want to live? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want? What would make me ecstatically happy? And then listen and do it. So you have your intuition and then you have your obedience. Will you follow your intuition? So, so at times you must leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. 20 seconds of insane courage doing that which you are being guided and led to do. And you know what that is. We all do. And sometimes we don't do it. Why? Because it means breaking your agreement with mediocrity. It means going off into a scary place. It means doing something your family and friends don't want you to do, right? It means being yourself, your authentic self. So part of this path we're walking, and walking now, especially in this time of so many obvious reasons to be upset, so many obvious reasons to be afraid, that's not what we do here. And it's not, we don't stick our head in the sand. Nobody's saying pretend there isn't stuff going on that is not good for human beings. Human beings without a spiritual perspective are not very spiritual. They're not particularly kind or generous or gracious or loving, or, human beings can be very cruel and stupid. Not any of us. Those other human beings. So, but that there's something you can trust in that connection. Abraham Hicks has a wonderful analogy way of looking at this, which is that you and I have a non-physical self. So Denise, this is Denise incarnated inside a body, right? This is my vehicle for this experience. But there's a non-physical today, really the core of my message, if I were to speak in more plain English, would be not to worry too much about what's going on out there. And I know it's scary, right? Because it's scary for people. Conjures up so much stuff from the past and so much fear of the future. But don't awfulize the future. Trust. What God is either real or not real. We are either all connected or we're not all connected. We cannot have it both ways. You can't serve two masters. So your job is to remember that you are, we are self-sufficient within ourselves. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what the news says. It doesn't matter what the history is. It doesn't matter what your mother says. It doesn't matter. God and you are a majority. You don't need anything else. And if you allow that to be the guiding light in your life, everything will work out, I promise. Everything will work out. It always has. It always will. We're not more powerful than God. God's in charge of trees and bees and you. So I leave you with that. Become who you really are for a miraculous life experience. Yes? Yes. So I say let's anchor this in prayer. We pray. So if you're new to this philosophy, we pray. We're not praying to a reluctant external deity who's obviously gotten it all wrong, right? God will not smite your enemies. God will not choose you over someone else, won't choose our country over another country. So when we pray, we're actually praying not like a conscious thing, but like a consciousness thing. We're praying to align ourselves with a greater truth than the truth than the illusion of the world. So with that, I just invite you to turn within for a moment. And we're turning within to by closing our outer eyes. So for this moment, let the already manifested world, the already created world, just be where it is. All the people, all the conditions, circumstances, places, conflicts, happinesses, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff in the world, let it be. And as we close our outer eyes, we open our inner eyes so that we can gaze into this dimension within us that is whole and perfect and complete in this moment, lacking nothing, missing nothing, indestructible. It is the truth about you. It is the spirit in you, this birthless, deathless, eternal being that you are, all powerful, all knowing, and everywhere present. That is who you are. And that is not only who you are, it's who everyone is. Whether they realize it or not, each being, each sentient being, whether it's plant, animal, human, is made of the same God stuff, made of the same sacred, holy stuff. And so it is from that place of knowing that I speak this word for and about everyone within the sound of my voice, or not, knowing that as I speak these words, they get deposited into a process that says yes, a process that comes up with a how. But the what is that we are in this moment at peace. We are in this moment unbotherable. We are in this moment in faith that all the crooked places are being made straight by a power that's greater than we are. That everything that seems broken is not broken. It's in the process of revealing something new. It's in the process of an emerging reality, something new emerging. Why? Because we think it. Because we take a stand for it. Because we walk it and we talk it. And pretty soon, all of the people in our lives, all of the situations in our lives, our personal lives, our money, our health, our friends, our community, our vacations, all of it begin to reflect the divinity within us. And we will love it. We will love it. You will be blown away by how good life is, how good God is as you, expressing itself into life. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be with this community I love so much, to feel in this moment like we've never been apart, and to simply just release the words, just to release them, and to accept them, to accept the fulfillment of the word now. So we go about doing what is ours to do in the world, but we do it without hate. We do it without fear. We do it without awfulizing the future. We do it with love and compassion and kindness, knowing that that is the path to what we all seek. And so I just invite you to anchor this for yourself fully, wholly, and completely in full faith by joining me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Reverend Denise. That was beautiful and very timely. So it is now time for our offering, for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to this community so that we can continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. There are 3 ways that you can give. I think they're going to come up on this screen and on your screens at home. If not, then there are 3 ways that you can give. Visit our website at trianglecsl.org, and you could text the word give to 919-629-9148, or you can actually send a check to PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. We affirm that together that today's offering lifts this community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. So I just invite everyone in this moment to please take your gift, place it against your heart, and we'll do our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you all for your generosity. And now please be generous as we welcome the awesome, the talented, the amazing Cindy Johnson back to her piano.
Thank you. There's a rainbow over my shoulder. There's a new world under my feet. And the darker the clouds that surround us, the brighter the rainbow will be. So I called in all my relations. Every heart has a treasure to bring. We can circle the worst of the weather, take courage together and see. Bless these souls that gather round now. We are shining through the storm. All the colors of the rainbow, each of us keeping us warm. In my dreams, I've seen our faces. We are singing through from the heart. All the circle of embraces, each of us just as we are, and we are coming again, setting our spirits free. And we are reaching out beyond anything we ever thought that we could be. So bless these hearts and bless this vision. Bless us where we are. Peace on earth is our decision, starting right here, beginning right now. I'm the rainbow I've wanted to see. The circle of peace is complete, starting with me. There's a rainbow over my shoulder. There's a new world under my feet. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much, Cindy. You are a living rainbow, isn't she, everyone? All right. Thank you so much. All right. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And at the bottom of the page, click prayer request, then click that button, fill in the request form. We'll send the prayer out to all of the ministers and practitioners, and you have your whole prayer dream team on your side. Also, if anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyripplemeyer@yahoo.com. Okay, so this is your last shot at our March affirmations. So I'm asking everybody to rise up, say it loud, and say it proud. I'll go first. It'll call response. Even though I live in a world full of noise and distractions, I choose to get quiet and listen for my inner wisdom. By doing so, I am reminded of and embody my oneness with life. Even though I live in a world of constantly changing tides, I choose to remember that change is a natural part of life. By doing so, I'm able to navigate the tides and stay true to and aligned with my divinity. Today, I surrender to the presence of God within me as me. By doing so, I experience comfort in the discomfort, peace in the chaos, stillness in the noise, and sway in the flow of life. And so it is. All right, you may sit down, close your eyes, and I will wrap things up with our benediction. Oh, man, and I know turning within, I am just awash in emotions because I know I'm never going to reason myself into my extraordinary life. I'm going to love myself there. I'm going to peace myself there. I'm going to joy myself there. I'm going to abund myself there. And so I am so very grateful for Reverend Denise's wise words, for our community, for this environment that helps me to turn on my God light. And I know that we are all connected. We are all one. So I know if I'm feeling this way, if I'm committed to this, I know we all are. And we lift ourselves up. We lift our community up. We lift our world up because we were here to have extraordinary lives. And so we're going to start walking a different walk after today, just from this talk and our service and this time together. So I'm just so grateful for this learning, so grateful for these people, so grateful for this truth. So, knowing it's the truth, I know that things will change. And I turn it over to the higher power that makes it so with our words, and so it is. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, my gratitude goes out to everyone that had anything to do with today's service. Marianne and Carol, to Heather, to Sean, to Cindy and her beautiful music, and of course to our beloved Reverend Denise. And I just thank you all for being here, whether you're here in the room or invited us into your homes. Make it a good God day. I love you all.